5 seconds, 4 seconds. Padula going to launch a three at the horn. It's good, and Ole Miss with 1.3 to play. Richmond's going to heave it from the other end. No good off the glass, and Ole Miss has won the game.
We went out there and fought and didn't get the outcome, but got a bigger tournament to worry about.
All that we were up against, these kids never stopped, and they just kept coming. So it was great to see.
This is the Morning Rush.
Tommy, the only three he hit yesterday came with a little over a second to go. I mean, Padula could not buy a basket against the Arkansas Razorbacks. And sure enough, he comes down and bangs that three to send Ole Miss on to today. Hey, we welcome you in. It's a Fast Break Friday brought to you by QC Connects. I'm still in Nashville. We've got plenty to react to after yesterday. Not just the Arkansas game, but the SEC action was nuts yesterday, including an epic game between Oklahoma and Kentucky. But, of course, we want to talk about what happened with Arkansas and Ole Miss. Tommy, you had some chances. Give the team credit. They could have wilted. They could have given up. There was points where Ole Miss looked like they had it clearly in hand, and Arkansas, again, had it and just let it slip away yesterday.
Yes, and when you look at, kind of the finish of the game, even if Trevin Brazile knocks down both of those free throws, you got to guard somebody coming up the floor, even if they're 0 for 100 or 0 for 6 in this case, because that's what got Arkansas beat. Don't blame TB on the free throws. What got you beat was the lack of defense on the other end. And in the end, I'm okay with it. I know some people are, just, I don't know about spitting mad, but there are people upset that you let Ole Miss get off the hook at the end of the game like this. But I really believe one last day in Nashville, the team getting back in their own comfortable confines, heading into the weekend before last night, but competing all the way to the end will serve them well. Now, if they'd gotten their tails kicked by 25, I don't feel the same way. But you competed, you scored 80 points, you come up short. I'm okay with it, mainly because I believe they're in the tournament irregardless, and I don't really think the win or the loss yesterday would have made a huge difference in what the committee's going to think about the Razorbacks.
If you want to call or text us, do so on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Got our Fence Man Friday picks coming up in a bit. We'll get into our opening drive, more of the SEC in a sec. We've also got Lang Whitman, the Railbird 333, talking some horse racing this weekend. My thought, that anger that you feel this morning that I felt yesterday, how do you think the team feels? That's like and again, I said this yesterday, I'll say it again, like I wasn't happy that Arkansas lost to Ole Miss in the sense of how it concluded. I mean, I was just sitting there like, of course. And I got instant 3 texts from my Ole Miss buddies and thinking to myself, of course, this is how it ends. But, like, the team's ticked off. And it's one of those things where now you have a week's rest. You're either going to play this next Thursday or next Friday. And it's not like you got drilled like you're talking about it. And you mentioned TB. I asked Cal because I was interested. I was like, hey, do you say something to Trevin after the game? Because Trevin had a good game. He's 6 or 8. He's 2 of 4 from 3. And then he just misses those free throws at the end. And listen, that last sequence that's on Billy Richmond. True freshman mistake. Pick up the ball. What's the thing you learn as like a first grader in basketball? Stop the ball. Billy points at someone else and runs off. He's closest to Padula and then runs off. So this is what Cal said after the game.
I told him in front of the team, look at me. That did not cost us the game. The reason we were in the game is because of you. That's why we were in the game. You have gotten so much better. And, I mean, you can look at different things, when you're in a close game like that.
I think the question you have to ask yourself is, after Trevin has had more confidence, he's smiling, he's playing a lot better, what kind of impact does that have on him? Because Big Z's not playing good right now. You can't afford 2 of your 3 front court players to play bad. Jonas had a really good game. Trevin had a really good game. What kind of impact will that have on him in the NCAA tournament? We'll find out next week.
All right, it is a Fast Break Friday. It is brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in bioorthologic care. We're talking PRP. They take the healing properties, the healing powers of your own body. They work with that, and then they put it back into the joints where you hurt the most. They take your blood, not someone else's, spin it up, and give you the healing powers that your body can fix itself in the new orthobiologic cellular therapies that they offer right here in Northwest Arkansas. They helped me with my shoulder after I threw it out and kind of had a sprain, but I didn't want to have surgery. I didn't want drugs. I didn't want downtime. There was QC Kinetics to help me. 479-999-1234. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
All right, so I know yesterday you wanted to win 4 straight, the game yesterday, and then the 3 in baseball this week. And JT in Laurel, Mississippi, texting in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying, Oxford bound, I'm bringing the broom for the sweep this weekend. I didn't realize until
better bring it early because they're playing earlier than expected today.
Yeah,
so.
They're playing it. Let's mention that. So inclement weather is expected in Oxford, so they're playing at 2 o'clock. And they're playing at 1:30 on Saturday and 1:30 on Sunday. It was going to be you probably get some overlap from the basketball game if they won yesterday, but at least you have something you can take in early Friday afternoon today, Tommy.
Yeah, and so that'll kind of replace. A lot of people's schedules have been. I know mine has been just out of whack this week because I've been watching basketball at noon. It's been hard to kind of after the game get yourself back into the workflow. So I find myself staying up way too late last night, getting caught up on work, up early this morning, getting caught up. Well, at least now I have baseball. Let's go ahead and end the week out of the groove a little bit. So I think having baseball at 2 o'clock will probably satisfy some people. And I think it would be too windy outside in part of our state to do much of anything else. So might as well watch some baseball today.
Zach was asking me this yesterday because Derek was out, so I was doing some stuff with him in DQ. Are you guys invested, and Colton, jump in on this too, are you invested in what plays out the rest of the SEC tournament? I'm not really. Like I think Alabama has the most to gain, but I don't know. And I know the games were really good. We'll talk about that. They're really good, but I just don't know like how the entertainment value for Arkansas fans here these next 3 days in Nashville is like. Are you going to pay attention to or watch any of these games moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I'm invested. I was watching. Was it Missouri, Mississippi State were playing last night? I didn't see the end of that Oklahoma, Kentucky game, but read about it this morning. Epic
humdinger right there.
Epic game, it appears, and I'm mad at myself for missing that. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see today, how this pans out in these matchups today. I mean, if you like college basketball, the best college basketball in the country this weekend's in Nashville. I don't think it's close.
Yep, it's in the Southeastern Conference. Good games yesterday. Let's jump into them in our opening drive.
Somehow gets it to Johnson. What a play. Robinson, backdoor, will throw it down.
31 in white brings the hammer.
He's going. He drives. He pulls it with the hot second to go.
This is the opening drive presented by First Financial Mortgage in Fort Smith.
Well, I know you watched it. Oklahoma was down by 5 or 6 with about a minute to go. Came all the way back. They got a couple steals. Jeremiah Fears hit this left-hand layup, and then Owe just comes down. And I think for the second time against the Sooners this season.
I think Kentucky was up 9 with minute and a half to go or something like that.
Kentucky was up 9 with a little bit to go. Foul game was played for a little while. Jeremiah Fears is really good. He ended up getting the clutch bucket for Oklahoma late. But then, Ty, it's the same thing you were talking about. Nobody stopped the ball. And, I mean, you eventually have to do that. Time winding down. I know it's difficult. You don't want a ticky-tack foul, but it's one of those elementary things that you learn early and just didn't happen for the Sooners. Not that I care.
I remember learning that. Baylor Brad used to coach us.
It was like ISIS versus the Taliban.
Yeah, I could care less.
OU and Kentucky
all
playing.
the garbage I still see Kentucky fans talk on every single page, every single post about Cal. I really could have cared if all their players would have gotten injured and the ball would have got deflated and they would never had to play the game. Who cares?
Never root for injuries, even as much as you hate a fan base. Never root for injuries. But to your point, it was funny. We were doing. I was talking with some of my Pig Trail Nation buddies yesterday, Evan and Jacob, and they're in red. And also, Tommy, I'll get into something I did yesterday where I stepped in mud. I'm surprised you didn't blast me for it. But anytime a Kentucky fan walked by, they would say something snarky or whatever after the Arkansas loss to Ole Miss. But I realized that the loss is partially on me. Now it's partially on you too because it's partially on you too. I realize
you have that much power, sir. I can't wait to hear this.
What I'm saying is, I wore that powder blue pullover that you gave me 6 years ago that has the Morning Rush and ESPN Arkansas logo on it, and I show up looked and talked to my LSU buddy and my Ole Miss buddy at half, and I realized as I'm looking at him and I look down at me, I'm like, I'm in Ole Miss colors right now. Like, what am I doing? So I partially blame that on me, and I partially blame that on you, and it probably did not help.
I didn't pack for you.
Well, you gave it to me. You're just as culpable as I am. You're saying I should have just burned it?
Did I pull it over your ears and down around your head? No.
No, I want to blame someone for what happened yesterday.
Way to take true millennial folks not taking responsibility for his own action.
Responsibility. Well, there are some positives yesterday for Arkansas basketball. I mean, Jonas had another magnificent game. Now, I think it's a little worrisome. He had 4 fouls against South Carolina, and he had 5 against Ole Miss. And, I mean, it's hard because, you don't want to lose that aggression. What did he tell us after the South Carolina game, Tommy? He felt like he lost some of his aggression, but he has to bow. I mean, I asked, hey, how do you keep that intact? Here's what he said.
I mean, of course it is, but honestly, when I'm on court, I don't think I'm fouling. I've been doing the same thing for the past 4 years I've been in this league, but it's just hard. So it's just hard, to be honest.
I think Tommy, it's a little concerning these last 2 games, and I don't know how officials will call Arkansas's first game on Thursday or Friday, but there's a big drop off right
tighter
now.
Than what we've been seeing all season is what I'm going to tell you.
That's where I was thinking. So with that being the case, there's a big drop off right now between Jonas and Big Z. So you just hope that he's not in a situation like he's in the last 2 games where he's gotten into foul trouble because they're a completely – I mean, Big Z starts yesterday. Cal said he probably shouldn't have started him because the wrist or whatever he's dealing with. Jonas comes in. Instant impact. Starts playing well. They get actually neck and neck with Ole Miss immediately. But when he's out, it's just they're a different team right now, unfortunately.
Well, and we talked about this yesterday. Coach Cal talked about it at some point leading up to the tournament. That sometimes giving up 2 points is better than giving up one of your fouls. There comes a point in the game where you can afford to, but and I think he was talking about Trevin getting his second foul early against Mississippi State. In the regular season finale, sometimes it's just better to let them score, defend them as best you can without fouling. But that foul and you being on the bench is not worth the 2 points you're going to give up on that possession. And I think we saw several possessions yesterday where Arkansas's bigs took that, you took that coaching because there were some drives to the basket that appeared undefended. And I know the guys I was watching the game with at times seemed frustrated with this. And I'm like, guys, he's got 2 fouls.
And Malik,
there's 17 minutes to go in the game. You got to be careful here.
I don't know how many fouls Big Z. He didn't play a lot yesterday, so I don't think he had a ton. But even on that fast break where Malik Diaz stepped in front of Big Z and then threw it down, you could tell Big Z just held up. Like he's just one get a foul, one get an attempt at. And that's in the back of Trevin's mind. It's in the back of DJ's mind because, again, the drop-off right now between DJ and Billy, for example, and then Jonas and Big Z, it's pretty lengthy. And Billy's still – listen, Billy's still learning. He's a true freshman. He's still trying to figure things out. He's busting his tail. He's playing a position he's never had to play before. So I don't want to put too much on him. That's just the reality of where Kyle Perry is with this team right now. All right, that is your opening drive. Again, big SEC games today. Later on today, as far as the scheduling goes, Ole Miss takes on Auburn. First game, 12 o'clock, ESPN. Texas, who got a double overtime win over Texas A&M last night, advances. They'll take on Tennessee. Missouri takes on Florida. And then Kentucky and Alabama tonight. That is the late game, which will probably start about 8:45 or so on the SEC Network. Our opening drive always brought to you by our friends at First Financial Mortgage. Ethan Adamson helped me with my mortgage. He is my mortgage lender. Any questions, any concerns I had, he was able to answer, and he's answered so many. I know he loves posting the reviews that he gets from his clients and customers. Give him a call, 479-782-9300. Any questions? Maybe you just got a tax refund. Maybe you're looking into a new house. Maybe you just have questions, or you can ask him or check them out online at ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender. All right, we still got a lot to get to, but we do have our Fence Man Friday picks. Guys, we're ready to pick some SEC games. We bring in our friend Sean, the Fence Man. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Man, it is going to be a beautiful day, a windy day in parts of our state, but looks like a beautiful weekend coming up.
Well, if you want to go fly a kite and you think you can hold on to it, today's the day to do it.
Sean, when is the last time you've flown a kite? I think I was in like high school. It's been a while.
Well, I'm a father, so probably about 5 or 6 years ago, when my kids were, teenagers, junior high, we flew a couple of kites then, but we weren't very successful. And they ended up hitting the dirt more than anything.
Yeah. So when's the last time you've been told to go fly a kite, Ty?
Plenty of times.
Yeah.
Kick rocks, pound sand.
Yeah.
Go fly a kite. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's jump into our picks from last week and see if we can get some picks for you this week. Kentucky taking on the Tigers. Tommy, who do you like this game in Columbia?
I'll go with Kentucky.
I also think Kentucky's going to win this game.
Give me Kentucky as well. I'm going to follow you guys.
Bama against Auburn. I'm taking the Crimson Tide on the road.
I'll take Auburn.
I'm going to go with Auburn.
Ole Miss got a big upset victory over Tennessee this week. They now travel to Florida. Does Florida get another marquee win before heading to Nashville for the SEC tournament?
Yes.
I'm also going to take the Gators.
Well, I'm going to go Oppo Taco for you guys. I think we're going to see an upset.
Mississippi State at Arkansas. I'm going to take Arkansas this one.
I'm taking the Razorbacks.
I am with you guys. I'm going to stick with my Razorback.
And they came through.
A lot of bells in there. A lot of Taco Bells.
Not a lot of ants in that one. All right, we've got 4 games today in the SEC tournament. The ones I just mentioned, we're going to pick them. Auburn is a 12.5-point favorite over Ole Miss today, Tommy. I like the Tigers big in this one. I know the last time they played, they blew them out too. I think it continues. I like Auburn and Bruce Pearl to win big over Chris Beard.
I like Auburn and Bruce Pearl to win, but I'll take Ole Miss in the 12.5.
Sean, what about you?
I want Auburn to take it all the way. I don't want Ole Miss to keep moving on.
Yeah.
Makes our loss a little better.
Yeah, you can at least relish in their defeat later on today, hopefully. All right, Tennessee and Texas. Texas advancing, and a really great double overtime game yesterday.
Too much orange in one place, I can tell you that. So
Bruce Stanton's Tennessee Volunteers, they are a 10.5-point favorite. I think 3 games in 3 days, I think it's going to be too much on Texas. I know Trey Johnson is one of the best players, not just as a freshman, but college basketball. But I like Tennessee to not just win, but cover that 10.5 today, Tommy.
Tennessee, and I'll lay the points. I agree with you. The three games, 3 days, too much. I don't know that the crowd plays a factor, but because it is in their home state. But I'll take Tennessee.
What do we think,
and
John?
You guys know me. Anybody who's going to go against Texas, I'm all a fan. Horn sawed off. Texas has got to go away.
All right, Missouri against the Gators. This was a really good game in Gainesville earlier this season. Tommy, Missouri is a 9.5-point underdog against Florida. I like Missouri to cover, but I like Florida to win this game.
I'm with you. Florida's going to win the game. Most of these games have been close, and I think today's games are no different. Give me Florida to win, but I'll take Missouri in the points.
Gators 9.5-point favorite, Sean. Who do you think between them and Missouri?
I went against them last week, and I didn't win that one, so I'm not going to go against them this week. Florida to win it outright.
All right, Kentucky against Alabama. Bama 7.5-point favorite. A lot of Kentucky fans will be in the building tonight. Tommy, are they happy when they leave the arena?
Alabama. So
I've got Alabama covering as well, that 7.5-point spread. I think Kentucky found some magic last night at the tail end. They don't find it tonight, Sean.
I'm going to go the other way. I think Kentucky's going to continue to find the magic, and they'll win the game.
All right, last one. Who do you think is going to win the whole thing? Who do you got? Who do you think advances? Guys, I think, again, I was going back between Florida and Alabama. I just think Alabama has the most to gain here in this SEC tournament. So I got the Crimson Tide winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I've got the Florida Gators winning the SEC championship.
And I'll take the Tennessee Vols all the way.
We're all 3 different. I like it.
All 3 different. All right, that is your Fence Man Friday picks here on a windy Friday. And you said what, Tommy? 45 to 60 mile an hour winds.
Well, I think they've toned that down to about 50 mile an hour gusts today. There's going to be about 20 to 30 mile an hour sustained winds. And Sean, that means somebody's going to have a panel or two or three or more of their fence probably blown down today. They'll need some repairs or maybe just time to replace the fence. I know a guy in the fence business that can help them.
Nice.
I think I know a guy in the fence business too that can give them a help out. Because if you got an older fence that's seen the test of time over a few years, these winds are not going to be gentle to it. They're probably going to do a little bit of damage. And we've got a great set of sales staff and installers. We can come out, get you a free estimate. We'll do our best to try to get it repaired and save you as much money. But sometimes that may be the opportunity for you to just get a nice, fresh, new fence. Spring's new, everything's a new year, new fence. We can handle it.
Yeah. The thing I've seen, and when you helped my mom with her fence, she had moved into a home that a builder put the fence in when they built the home. And when you don't do it yourself, you don't always get the best quality. You don't always get and it's not that the workmanship was bad. Sometimes the materials just aren't top notch. And that's the thing when you call the fence man and you guys put the fence in, the quality materials are going to be there, and you're not going to have to worry about it 7 or 8 years from now.
I don't like to knock a lot of the big box stores, but sometimes, unfortunately, the materials they get is, a little substandard. So a lot of the materials we do have, like our pickets, they're ordered in. They're a better picket, a little thicker. The treatment's a little bit better. So yes, we put a little bit better picket on. We use a little better materials. A lot of times, unfortunately, these builders, man, they're just about getting the house put in, get the fence in, get it sold. But, one of the things I tell a lot of people here, I'm not here for Friday's paycheck. I'm here for the next 2 or 3 years. I want people to respect us, know our name, and know that, don't call me for your repair, call me for your next fence.
782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Fastbreak Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics in Bentonville. Get back to living your life.
0 to the other end for a throwdown.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
This is the Morning Rush.
This is the game that they are saying national championship.
And we're floating in a sea of red.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Jupon, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina Chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
A lot of respect for the opponent. Hall of Fame coach. 7-man rotation right now. In my opinion, told the guys this last night, I think all 7 are either draft picks or guys that have a chance to be NBA players in the future. So we consider this a great win, maybe one of the best of the season. Arkansas had won 5 of the last 6 or 6 of the last 7. And so to me, it was maybe even kind of a second weekend type game. It's a talented team.
That was Ole Miss head coach Chris Beard following Arkansas's loss to Ole Miss yesterday. Highly complimentary. Mentioned Cal, mentioned the team, mentioned the players several times. Used that term second weekend team. Tommy, is that coach speak? Do you believe him? Like,
no,
what did you take away from his comments?
Arkansas is good enough. They got enough talent to go, maybe a third weekend. But they're just not deep enough. And I don't think it's a talent issue. It's a depth problem. And, if you're Arkansas's first opponent, what would be the one thing you would do? Ty, if you were playing Arkansas next Thursday or Friday, what would you do first and foremost?
Press. Get to DJ's legs. I would attack the big guys as much as humanly possible.
That was the first thing.
That's what you're going for?
Attack Arkansas at the rim, use the big guys inside, and try to get Arkansas in foul trouble.
Yeah.
I hear you on pressing, but I think pressing can also get you in some trouble with Arkansas. Then get over the top, but with the length they have. But I believe next week things will not be as physical in the NCAA tournament as what we've seen throughout the SEC conference season in the last 20 games, 18 regular season, 2 in the tournament. It's not going to be as physical a play. So I don't believe. So I think you're going to, have to avoid foul trouble, and that's the one thing. If Arkansas can do those things, I think they got more talent than a lot of teams that, it's just going to depend on matchups. But you told me a second weekend team, I don't think that's coach speak.
Well, you think about where Arkansas is probably going to wind up on a 10 line. So you play a 7 and you play a 2. Unless there's a crazy 2-15 upset, which you shouldn't expect it. So that's better.
Which could be an SEC team.
Yeah, you're right on that. Cal alluded to that small rotation you were talking about after the game.
We ended up with 5 on the floor and played well. When you play with limited numbers, the limited numbers are usually really happy. So I think they'd rather play and even be a little tired or have some foul trouble. But we made a pretty good run with a small team.
They did. Again, 3-point loss basically at the buzzer. It's not not how you wanted it to end, but I tend to think it's going to be better for you.
No need to hang your head on this one. So.
Yep, you do. Your baseball team gets a crack at Ole Miss, so if you're angry at Ole Miss, hopefully Dave Van Horn and company go down there. I didn't realize until I read the game notes, Tommy, they haven't lost an SEC opening weekend series since 2016. It's nearly a decade. Mm-hmm. Now, this is
what happened that year?
Not great.
Yeah.
not great. That was the only time in Dave Van Horn's tenure where they didn't go to the NCAA tournament. So pretty outstanding. That's where they'll be today. Softball. Biggest weekend maybe of the season for them. Oklahoma in town this weekend.
Yeah, that's a hot ticket. So I know there were still some berm seats available, but good luck with a chair back for softball this weekend.
Last thing here in your Hog Update, Molly Miller, according to Mitchell Northam, who writes for SB Nation, covers women's sports, is a top candidate along with the Arizona State job for potentially winding up with Arkansas women's basketball. I know in that release that Hunter Yurchek said a national search is going to begin immediately, so we'll see what becomes of that job here in Fayetteville. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Man, I'll tell you what, March has been crazy thus far, not just in the SEC tournament, but other conference tournaments. And so we bring in our friend Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources. Larry, I know you've been watching all these games, man. That was a heartbreaker yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh, it was just terrible. I was listening to it on the radio. By the way, that call, Chuck and Zimmerman yesterday, just a terrific call on the radio on that game. It was a heartbreaker. I mean, a heartbreaker. So, anyway, I'm proud of the guys and looking forward to the NCAA tournament. Looks like we're going to get a chance to win one or two, and pretty excited about it.
I know you're also excited about March. You guys have a special thing going right now, $1,000 your way. That's something that people definitely can take advantage of this month.
Yeah, that's been a really popular promotion because, you can use that money however you want to. Maybe you want to use that to pay your sales tax, or maybe you have something else you take care of, make the first couple of payments, whatever you're trying to do. And it just makes it easier for you to go ahead and get that vehicle you've been waiting on. And that's what we try to help people do. Bring us your problems. If you're worried about your trade-in, worried about your down, worried about your credit, worried about getting the best deal, worried about getting the best car, just come on in to Rath Auto Resources. Check out a big inventory of road-ready certified used cars, best used car your money can buy with warranty. You're not going to find a better used car anywhere. And we've got a big selection of them and a select inventory with that $1,000 cash back your way. So it's a terrific time. We're selling a bunch of cars, making a lot of new friends. If you're looking for the best used car you can buy, come see us this weekend. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. We're right there at 4515 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
Yeah, don't underestimate that Meineke Car Care Center in two great locations in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Larry, enjoy the madness, and we'll chat soon, okay?
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good day. Folks, come and see us.
So, Tommy, we were talking a little bit earlier about just who you like finishing out. The reason I didn't pick Florida is because I have them winning the national championship, and I don't want to jinx them for my bracket. I could see them wind up winning here in Nashville, but that's why that's the only reason why I didn't pick them to win the whole thing.
Well, that makes some sense. Hey, if it's your turn to be the designated driver this weekend for pub crawls, take that role seriously. Do not consume alcohol. Not even one drink. Don't depend on the luck of the Irish this weekend. Please remember, drive sober or get pulled over. A message from the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
All right, we got our Morning Rush Daily question coming up in just a bit.
It's Fast Break Friday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Bland off a screen, top of the circle, buries the three-pointer.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas, 80 yards.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The Golf Nut is thrilled to introduce new products for 2025, including Cobra Dark Speed Adapt Woods and Irons, Ping G440 Woods and Irons, and TaylorMade QI35 Woods. Lap putters, including the latest OZ model, are also available. Whether you want to improve your swing or enjoy the game, the Golf Nut offers a range of options. Book a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators and experience golfing greatness. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue for your ultimate golfing destination.
Attention business owners, are you overpaying for your website, dropping thousands up front and shelling out more than $95 a month? Stop the madness! With Modular Orange, you get a custom-built, fully managed website for just $95 a month. No hidden fees, no headaches. They write it, build it, launch it, update it, and secure it so you can focus on your business. Ditch the overpriced hassle and go simple. Visit modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Decisions aren't hard when no matter what you choose, you win. Like with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 Classic box with iconic favorites like a beefy 5-layer burrito, the $7 Supreme box with the Chicken Chalupa Supreme, and more. Or find new obsessions in the $9 Discovery box. Get yours at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jazzco?
We do food trucks, cars,
We do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses. We do logos, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jazzco. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at CarpathSocial.com.
All right, Morning Rush Daily Question. Have we seen the last for this season of Adu Thiero? Not much has been mentioned. A couple days ago, Cal said a little something, but, I just wonder next week, and I'm not suggesting he'll start and maybe play, 35 minutes, but Ty, could Adu Thiero be back in some kind of limited role, or is what we see is what we're going to get the rest of the way?
I tend to think if you see a player back, and this is not with any inside knowledge or anything, I think it's going to be more likely to be Boogie. And you kind of brought something up earlier. I just don't know about them being second weekend. Based on what Cal said, Cal said not this tournament when asked about them coming back, and then he also added advancing. So to me, that means like second weekend. That's how I took it. And I don't know why I think maybe it's just the time elapsed from Boogie versus Thiero and how long they've been out, even though the injuries are not the same at all. I tend to think that there's much.
One required surgery, one's just requiring rest and rehab. But,
yeah, I tend to think that we'd see Boogie before we'd see anything to do with. Again, that's just just an idiot guess on my part.
Okay, because there's been plenty of chatter from people that have watched the Razorbacks, in the open practice or the shoot-arounds. I mean, they're out there. They're there.
I think Boogie, Jacob Morrison picture on this year, Evan Kamiko told me that they saw Boogie shooting.
Right.
And it was what was it, thumb, hand? I can't remember.
He had surgery on his hand with thumb, yeah.
So that seems like a positive, right? At least on that standpoint. So I think, again, I don't expect to see Adu Thiero back. If you're just saying, like, tell me, but I could see Boogie coming back for a second weekend.
Well, if you get one or both, and Thiero was the question, because I think he's the better of the two players, and he's the one that could maybe lift you a little bit more in whatever limited role he could play.
He's more impactful.
But you know what either one of them are? 5 more fouls.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are. They're 5 more fouls. They release some of the tension and some of the pressure defensively that you don't have without 5 more fouls. Particularly, I think Thiero's a little more versatile in the lineup than Boogie Fland, obviously. So, if nothing else, you get one of them back, you got 5 more fouls, Ty.
Yeah, I think that's go ahead, Colton.
Matt in Huntsville brings up a good point on our text line. He says, Boogie, I don't think any chance that he'll come back because he's got an NBA future, and that's kind of where I'm kind of thinking towards too. Is Cal is Cal is a player's coach. He's going to definitely defer to whoever's making the decisions for those players and whatever is best for them in the future. So if it's to protect them for a tournament run and just let them heal up to maybe go protect their draft status, that's what Cal's going to do, because that's what he would do for any player.
Okay, so on that note, and I don't know the differences between John Shire and Cal, but for those that missed it, Cooper Flagg went out with an ankle injury yesterday. He was seen
in a wheelchair.
Yeah, and that's the key on that. He was seen being carted off in a wheelchair. Is there any chance that he decides to hang it up before the NBA? Because that Duke team's completely different without him. And I'll say this, like, I think Arkansas is going to wind up as a 10 seed, so this conversation it might end up being irrelevant. But let's say you sneak into a 9 seed, and you've got 4 teams you have the option of playing: Florida, Auburn, Houston, and a Cooper Flaggless Duke. which one do you want to be seated with in that second round? It's the Cooper Flagless Duke, and that's under the impression. I mean, that ankle injury, like you said, he got wheeled off. I know there's medical miracles nowadays, and guys come back way quicker from stuff than before. But, man, that looked pretty gruesome yesterday based on the way he landed. So I know Shire said he's done for the ACC tournament. Guys, there's no guarantee he'll be back next weekend for the Blue Devils. So that's just, again, like seeding in my mind, matchups and everything else. I tend to think Arkansas is going to be a 10 seed, but if you somehow sneak into a 9 slot, I wouldn't hate being in Duke if he's not going to play, and just the opportunity to play the kid. Yeah. I think this team would relish that opportunity to play the number 1 pick in the upcoming NBA draft.
All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. Great place to be today to play golf indoors. Out of the wind, we'll be at Cart Path Social.
Yes, I know Nate and Christian really excited about March Madness. You can watch the SEC tournament there. You can do any other basketball tournament starting next week, and they've got their Masters Invitational as well. Tommy, I think you were sporting a Masters jacket earlier this week.
I was.
Augusta National, again, it's going to be here before we know it in the tournament there. Masters Invitational, you're going to play there each and every week. At Cart Path Social. You're playing Augusta National, of course. 25 spots available. Go to cartpathsocial.com. It's BYOB at Cart Path Social. You can wear golf attire like me and Tommy do from time to time, or you can just show up in whatever. 122 Grant Place in Lowell, 479-487-3622. And yes, online at cartpathsocial.com.
All right, time to head to Oaklawn for our racing update this week. It's brought to you by Brothers Roofing and Restoration, where Lang Whitman's standing by. Lang, we've been talking about the wind forecast today. I'm not sure what it's going to be like at Oaklawn Park, but I know the northwest corner of the state and in the River Valley going to see some of the high winds. What's the forecast today in Hot Springs? I know it's going to be nice weather for the weekend, but what's it look like for today's card on a Friday?
I have not checked the wind today. That's always a good point because, if you're at Oaklawn and you see the wind blowing, like I said, the horse is starting the backside at 6 furlong starting point. If the wind is at their back, going down the back stretch, when they turn for home, it's really hard for the horses that are coming from behind to catch the winner. The winner kind of gets an extra boost because the horses from behind, can't catch them. It's tough running into the wind like that. So I do need to look at that and see what's going on with that today. I do know that there's going to be
17, 18 mile an hour southwest winds during the middle of the day with gusts up to 30, 35 miles an hour. So figure on about an 18 mile an hour southwest wind throughout most of the afternoon. It's going to be pretty steady, which isn't as rough as some of the other parts of the state that are going to see wind conditions 10 to 15 miles an hour more. But Hot Springs, 20 mile an hour winds out of the south today.
Okay, see, now that's something I did not take into account today. I looked at the temperatures for the weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be some big crowds over there. I know that there's a online Facebook page where people trade out their box seats. I can't go. I'll sell you mine, blah, blah, blah. And for every one person selling their box seat this weekend that can't go, there's 20 people looking for a box seat. So I know Saturday's going to have a big crowd at Oaklawn. 3 days racing this week, 30 total races.
All right, so let's talk about Saturday's card because weather, winds, all that's supposed to be beautiful for Saturday. The Whitmore Stakes coming up. It's kind of the feature race on Saturday.
Yeah, it's the race number 10 on Saturday, and it's the feature race, the Whitmore Stakes. A 6 furlong race for $250,000. Now, this race was formerly called the Hot Springs Stakes. It was renamed after fan favorite Whitmore when he retired a few years ago. He won this race 4 straight years from 2017 to 2020 among his 7 career stakes wins at Oaklawn. Just a terrific sprinter. Started his career on the Triple Crown Trail, finishing in the money in the Rebel and the Arkansas Derby before racing in the Kentucky Derby.
All right, and Whitmore named after a barbecue restaurant in that family in Pecola, Oklahoma by Ron Moquette. So interesting backstory with the Whitmore name. All right, you always give us a best bet on a Friday. Do you need to recalibrate after the wind forecast, or you got something nailed down today that can make us some money?
We're going to try to get 3 in a row. The one I gave out last week, 10 minutes after I got off with you, found out that it scratched. I posted on Twitter my new best bet, and that one did win. Of course, 2 weeks ago we had the big one with the $28 winner. Let's see if we can get 3 straight this week. My best bet today, we're going to go to race number 6, horse number 9, Hailstorm, at 9-2 on the morning line. This horse is trained by leading trainer Steve Asmussen, ridden by his son Keith in this 6-furlong race, $35,000 claiming race. In 2 starts in 2025, this horse has ran only 7th and 4th, but I'm looking back to his races in 2024. He had 9 starts, 5 times he finished in the money with 2 wins versus what I think is better competition than he's going to be facing today. If he can go back to some of those races he ran last year, the 9-2 price on the morning line is going to be nice for us. I think he's going to sit just behind the speed in this race and maybe have to pass, 2 or 3, maybe 4 horses down the stretch. Maybe that wind will come into effect, but I'm going to stick with number 9, Hailstorm, as my best bet in race 6 today. If you want to go with an exacta, look for number 2, Magical Mark, or number 4, Here Comes Braylon, as the ones for Hailstorm to run by in the stretch.
All right, Lang, sounds like a great weekend, a hot ticket to get into Oaklawn, and we look forward to seeing you on the rail here soon.
All right, look forward to it, Tommy. Thanks for having me on.
At the Railbird 333, you can find him on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms and get your picks for the weekend at Oaklawn. It's brought to you by Brothers Roofing and Restoration. 479-353-3877 is the number for Brother Alexander and the team at Brothers Roofing. Hey, with these winds that we're talking about today, if you find shingles in your yard, you need repairs, or maybe you've had leaks and some spots showing up on the ceiling, or maybe many roofs in your neighborhood have been replaced over the last year or two, and yours hasn't even been inspected. It's time to call Brothers Roofing and Restoration. Whether you're in Hot Springs, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, or anywhere in western Arkansas, Brothers is always there for you. 479-353-3877. And if the name Brother Alexander sounds familiar, he's a former Razorback. He's been in our state, and he's been in the roofing industry for more than 30 years. That's Brothers Roofing and Restoration, 479-353-3877.
So Colton Red, Matt in Huntsville's text earlier on the Loose Automotive Group hotline. Got another one from Cliff. Cliff feels like he's seen Thero's last game as an Arkansas Razorback. He feels like he's going to move on. I'm guessing the NBA after this season. I don't think he would be transferred. Scott, the tortilla guy, texted in, and Tommy said Todd Day one time went off with a stretcher with an elbow injury versus the Celtics.
Well,
so did Paul Pierce, but that wasn't for an injury.
So did Don Zimmer after a baseball brawl that he got knocked down. I'm not saying there's not some drama. And so, hey, listen, if you got a bum ankle, they don't want to carry you all the way out to the deal. But
Don Zimmer, Pedro Martinez. Yeah. I mean, what was he, 70 something? And Pedro grabs his head and throws it. Oh my gosh! Oh my. Is that Don Zimmer? You hear Joe Buck. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, if you haven't downloaded the Hit That Line Now app, do it for the weekend. It's powered by Taco Bell. Whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. It is a Fast Break Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in orthobiologic cellular therapies, including PRP treatments that can revitalize your joints without going under the knife. No surgery, no drugs. No downtime, and get back to doing the things you love. As the weather's getting great, go walking, climbing stairs, play golf, go to the races. All the things you want to do, you can. 479-999-1234 is their number. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics in Northwest Arkansas.
Clay Henry joins us next. Features editor of Whole Hog Sports. We'll start that in hour 2.
Hunting for a fortune? X marks the cash. 5 new lottery scratchers are loaded with prizes and waiting to be discovered. Multiply your prize 10, 50, up to 200 times. Ticket prices range from $1 to $20. Top prizes start at $5,000 and go all the way to $500,000. Find the X and find the cash. Available now at lottery retailers. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime.
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479-STADIUM.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hawks.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
This is the Morning Rush.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer and need a bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
I want to ride my bicycle.
Looking for a new ride or need a tune-up? Champion Cycling in Fort Smith has you covered. From top-of-the-line bikes like Specialized and Surly to expert repairs, apparel, and accessories, we've got everything you need to hit the trails. Stop by 5500 Mazard Road during business hours or shop anytime online at championcycling.com. Champion Cycling, helping you share in the joy of cycling.
Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Monitoring the risk of severe weather across parts of the state. It looks like we will start to see some storms by the time we finish off today, heading through tonight and early Saturday, too. Right now, for today and into tonight, higher end chances for severe weather central and east. Small end chances for severe weather early Saturday. I'm Jennifer Naramore with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3.
The second one's up. No good. Rebound, Dre Davis. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Padula going to launch a three at the horn. It's good. And Ole Miss with 1.3 to play. Richmond's going to heave it from the other end. No good off the glass. And Ole Miss has won the game.
We went out there and fought and didn't get the outcome, but got a bigger tournament to worry about.
All that we were up against, these kids never stopped. And they just kept coming. So it was great to see.
This is the Morning Rush.
So it's bad enough that Ole Miss beat you yesterday in the form of fashion of Padula's game-winning three, but then Marshall Henderson just had to be in the stands yelling and screaming. Did you see that yesterday, Tommy? That just made it worse. One of the most dislikable college basketball players ever to step foot on planet Earth was in attendance for that game-winning shot yesterday. I nicknamed Sean Padula Smurf Marshall Henderson because he just ticks me off. Not just this game, but other games as well. He's a good player. I got to give him credit. He can play both ways, but he didn't hit anything yesterday until that last shot, 1 for 7. And that one, though, ended up being the shot of consequence that helped send Arkansas home and kept Ole Miss alive to take on Auburn today.
Yeah, so we'll watch as the quarterfinals today, semifinals tomorrow, championship game just after lunchtime on Sunday, and we'll be crowning the SEC champion. And be interesting to see how many of the teams that have played the last day or two advance past today. I still think it's going to get rather chalky. We'll find out what Clay thinks in just a minute. We're brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine and advanced regenerative care is really how I should phrase that, because if you got trouble with pain and arthritic pain in your back, shoulders, knees, or hips, you've been to your family doctor. Maybe you've been to see an orthopedic, and they've said, yeah, we need to do surgery. Don't plan to do anything for 8 to 12 weeks. Well, there's a better way with orthobiologic therapies that include PRP that can get you moving again with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime, and back to the things you love. 479-999-1234 is their number, 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
All right, Clay, I have an important question before we jump into basketball. So went to a hot chicken place last night. The options were Southern, which is no heat, mild, which is some heat, medium, hot, dang hot, and shut the cluck up. Which would Clay Henry choose of those selections?
Clay, are you there? Anyway, I think we've lost our connection with Clay.
All right, we'll try and get it back. I'll ask you. I'll ask that same question, Tommy, that I just was trying to ask Clay. Which of those?
Southern was nothing. What was the next one up?
Mild, then medium, then hot, then dang hot. Then
medium would be the limit. I'm just not going to suffer all night to make a point. I mean, I don't mind a little heat. I don't mind some heat, but I mean, I'm not going to have tears in my eyes. That's not enjoyable.
Okay, I went with hot. Colton, which one would you have chosen?
And hot might be fine. Some people say hot, and Christian's in the chair
Christian,
now.
I'm sorry, Big C. My bad.
Said hot or spicy? I guess that's the same thing.
No, shut the cluck up. Slow down and say that right. But I'm not going all the way to where I'm miserable. I'm not going to be miserable.
No, I don't.
For hours on end just to prove something to my buddies.
That's fair. Well, it was.
But some people say hot, and it's not really that hot.
I'm going to be honest. So, it was very the Hattie B's experience, Tommy, last night was very mid. It was not the best experience I've ever had, and I know it's a tourist trap. I've always enjoyed it, but last night was not so good. The basketball game was enjoyable to the end. I'll tell you what, if you just enjoy SEC basketball or basketball as general, I mean, the SEC tournament day 3 was you yesterday. I mean, those games between the double overtime game of Texas A&M and Texas, where the Longhorns advance, the last-second shot that unfortunately went against Arkansas was pretty crazy. Oklahoma and Kentucky, I mean, and even Missouri and Mississippi State won a bad game. Missouri pulled away kind of late. But you were treated to 4 really good games yesterday in Nashville, and I guarantee you Greg Sankey and his team was very, very happy with how things played out.
Well, I think it's been a entertaining tournament. But listen, if the SEC is what we claim it to be in our own bubble, if it's the most dominant conference that we keep hearing all the pundits talk about, shouldn't the games be entertaining? We talk about the depth. Hey, this league's going to get 19 out of 18 teams in, all this stuff. I mean, if this is going to be a 12 or 13 bid league, these games better be entertaining, or there's a problem coming for this tournament or for this league next week in the tournament.
I don't have the soundbite in front of me. One of the good questions Chris Beard was asked yesterday is, like, how do you balance, like, the positives from playing in a league like this where you get game in, game out, such tough competition versus the same rigorous terrain that other SEC football and baseball programs have had to deal with over the years, and also the injuries, which has affected his team, I guess, a little bit during the course of the season, not as much Arkansas. But there are some pros and cons that you kind of go back and forth with, Tommy, playing in a league like this.
Yeah, and that's why there's been ups and downs for every team. Some have been, greater swings than others. But, I just hope we're not talking about next week from Monday how this league fell flat on its face. Like, we've had these conversations for years. There's always a conference that doesn't live up to the hype. It may be impossible to live up to the hype, but what is that minimum number? Clay Henry joins us now, and Clay, I think it's going to be an exciting weekend of basketball in Nashville, but in the end of this conference doesn't have 4 or 5 teams at least in the Sweet 16 after the first weekend of the tournament. I just wonder what the national pundits will be saying about the greatness of the SEC this year.
Well, I think they proved it, Tommy, in the non-conference when they beat up all these teams. Now, let's be honest, things change, in the NCAA tournament. Games are called differently. I was really interested to hear an interview with Florida coach Golden, and he said they have to have a talk with his players next week about how the officiating changes once they get into the tournament. It's called much closer than what the SEC is called. You could be in another league, and it might be called tighter.
I don't think anyone's more physical than the SEC.
I know, but they're not going to let you do that
right.
in the NCAA tournament.
I agree.
And Tommy, the 4 games or I guess the 8 games that I've watched, every one of them was different. Every one of them was called different, and it changed from half to half. And that's not altogether bad, because you have to learn to adjust to that, if you're a good team. And for instance, the first game Arkansas played, the whistles were blowing, and Arkansas got a big lead, and then they show the huddle of the South Carolina coach. They're down 20, and he says, we're going to go after them. And basically, he told his team, we're going to make them stop us, in other words, if they don't stop us, we're going to attack them. Mm-hmm. And they hit Arkansas dribblers on every hedge, and it was really kind of interesting. Right at the end, they called a couple of those, and the South Carolina players looked like, well, you hadn't called that for 15 minutes. That's the same thing I've been doing. Their big man just knocked the crap out of Wagner, knocked him about 3 feet. Well, he'd done it 4 straight times, and they hadn't called it. So that's tough on players.
Boyle kind of looked at the ref. He looked at the ref and said that exact same thing you alluded to, Clay, because I was right there next to him, and I was like, well, you didn't want to call that the first 3 times it happened. Now you're just it doesn't make. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It consistency. It doesn't make any sense.
You talking about the one out top where he was guard?
Yeah.
Well, but what was the foul count right then? I can tell you, 7-2.
Yeah.
It was 7-2,
but they had been making that. They had been not making that call for 18 minutes.
Yeah, but when your 5 comes out and steps forward into a guard, and while there wasn't a hell of a collision there, when the foul count's 7-2, that's going to be a foul.
Well,
I'm getting at is he had done it before and they didn't call it. The same guy.
here's what and Clay, we kicked this off in the first hours. Like Jonas Adu is playing great right now, right? But he fouls out yesterday. He has 4 fouls the day before. And he mentioned the aggression aspect. Like they need him out on the floor. And one of the points that I know Cal's talked about, Tommy made reference to it, is like sometimes you just got to give a guy a basket. Now you're going to get yelled at. The coaching staff is going to be there yelling at you for giving one.
No, I think the coaching staff's telling him at Arkansas to give him one.
No, I think he has. Yeah. And then but the tough part is that you're not getting minutes from Ivisic. So you know, if he gets a foul, you can't take him out. You got to leave Jonas out there for those minutes. But I really turn the sound down on TV a lot of time because I'm multitasking. I'm doing other things. I'm tying flies. But I was really interested to listen to Jay Billis describe what he thought was going on in the officiating. I don't think he's a fan of SEC officiating.
I don't think he's a fan of any officiating.
Yeah, but like to open the game. There's a layup. Carter Knox puts it up, and the guy puts his arm on his shoulder. The other arm is straight out. He makes the layup. It's 4 seconds into the game, and nobody wanted to call it. Nobody wanted to blow the whistle on the first play of the game, but it's a foul. I mean, and it's a clear foul. And Tommy, I sent you on Facebook in the South Carolina game.
The walks.
Was that the worst thing you've ever seen?
Oh,
well, they weren't. Again, if you've watched all year, walks aren't being called.
Yeah, but that's not calming the ball. That's not.
He's like
a jump step. The guy's scooting across the floor. They call that in 4th grade.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it hasn't been called. It's escalated to this point. But if you'd have called all the walks at that level.
But
hang on. Let me finish. If you called them all, there would have been 8 or 10 more whistles in that game.
I don't care.
Well, you might not, but I don't think the people that
the rules are the freaking rules.
Well, so is the speed limit, but people don't observe that either.
That's not the same thing. You're talking about life and death.
But we're talking. Well, some would consider this life and death. I'm just telling you that the directives from the NCAA Rules Committee is to let anything other than a clear and obvious Ray Charles top of the arena walk go.
That was one of those.
Oh, and you may be right on that.
He scooted 3 times.
But I'm having the same arguments with my buddies watching the game, not understanding why walks aren't being called, but you haven't seen them all year. You don't want to start calling them now after a season long of not doing that.
But those are 3 top-level referees.
It's 2 games.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you the other thing that I don't like. And, I mean, this is – and I'd be interested in your take on this, Tommy. Ole Miss did this 3 times late in the game. Arkansas misses a free throw. Mm-hmm. The ball, everybody's lined up. The ball's in the official's hands underneath. And the Ole Miss player that's closer to the shooter walks into the lane, walks up an inch from Trevin Brazile, and just stands there. And the official's holding the ball, waiting for him to move to give it to him. That's a T, isn't it?
I don't think you can call that.
Never seen a technical call.
You tell the kid to get out of the way.
Do you let him do that? Well, they didn't do that either.
Well, but you can't call technical in that situation. You either
Why
push
can't
the kid,
you? Why? Because it's 5 seconds left.
In my opinion, listen, I'm all for Arkansas hosing the other team.
That's Bush League. You don't let them coach that way.
You push them aside, or it's just like it is in soccer, where a kid fouls someone, he stands in front of the ball, or it happens. The official,
that's a yellow card.
Yeah, you push them aside. That wasn't again. We talk about the free throws. We could talk about maybe they got a shot off too early, which there's truth to that. Trev missed those free throws. You got to at least hit one. And listen, Trev went 6 for 8. He was 2 of 4 from 3. He had 11 rebounds, I think. He had a really good game. As Cal mentioned after the game, they wouldn't have been in that game without him. The biggest play is you gotta stop the ball. Like Padula walked up the court. He didn't even touch him, and Trev's backing up. Like you got to know in that situation, even if a guy's 1 for 6 or 0 for 6. I'm sorry. Like you got to get out on him, and it's not Trev's fault because
he walked up the court.
Yeah, you got to have a guard in that
He
situation.
was flying up the court. He wasn't walking it.
Well, you've got to have a guard in this.
Go back and look at it.
What I mean,
get
Clay.
it. But don't say he walked up the court because
Okay,
he wasn't walking up the court.
What I mean is that no one picked him up.
Two guys pointed at him, and neither one of them went to him.
So
but he was flying up the court. And they were
Didn't they
flying
have
backwards.
him and then went and checked off another guy thinking he was going to pass?
They pointed, and it didn't work. You know,
They
like,
doubled
okay, I'm
someone
going to
else?
take him. Yeah. I'm going to take him. You're going to, and it's too late because he was flying. He wasn't. Now, if he'd been
I don't
walking,
think they meant to double someone else. I think it was just a
that's what I'm saying.
miscommunication on the switch.
You saw points, and they went the wrong way.
Yeah.
So, but don't say he walked up because he didn't walk.
Well, there was only 7 seconds. You couldn't walk it up.
No,
we got this text
Ty didn't know what he saw.
That tends to happen. We got this text from Jeremy in Clarksville saying, one thing I haven't heard from the Calipari Trolls mentioned is they lost to a game to a really good team without their two best players in a meaningless tournament game. Who cares? I know Carter said this after the game.
We went out there and fought. We didn't get the outcome, but got a bigger tournament to worry about.
And that's kind of what Cal said on his court shot show with Chuck. It's like and he alluded to it in the press conference yesterday. I want to say he said something on Wednesday as well. It's like you play in these type of tournaments to get your seeding better. And I tend to think they're going to wind up as the 10th seed on Sunday, and then we'll see where they location-wise as well. But they have positioned themselves based on the way they play, and I think they've won 5 of their last 6 to be an NCAA tournament team. And that's the biggest thing that matters considering where they were to where they are going to be starting next week.
I like the 11. I don't mean I think they're an 11, but I just think that's a spot you can get into, and it sets you up. And the worst one is the 8-9, just because of who you're going to play next. So the seeding is crazy. It's like it's let's face it, it's all about matchups. Who you draw, and it could be. For instance, they don't need to be playing a team like South Carolina that plays that style. I hope they play against somebody who wants to get it up and down, because I think that suits their kind of players. That they've got some open court talent.
You need a game in the 70s and 80s is what you need.
Yeah, I get that.
Maybe not in the 90s, but certainly not in the 50s and 60s.
They played some games like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's you don't know what you're going to get in the NCAA tournament. You don't know how the games are going to be called. Mm-hmm. You don't know, what the opponent's going to do, and you don't know if you're going to run into a hot shooter like Cal did last year in that first round. They ran into a guy that, let's just face it, he had the game of his life, making those threes from everywhere, and that happens in that tournament. And you have to somehow. It's like I go back to Arkansas's run to the national championship and then to the national championship game in those early rounds. They were so much better than those teams, but they played a little tight, and a couple of those teams, they had the games of their lives, made shots. And that can happen in a magical run in the NCAA tournament.
Was it Syracuse that called that timeout that didn't have one that got hit with the technical?
Yeah, it seemed like it was Lawrence Moten or somebody like that.
Yeah.
We always remember the one with Michigan, but there was the one with Arkansas.
And you alluded to, some of those games that you expect Arkansas to just clobber teams, it was a lot closer in those initial before national championship appearance than maybe you expected. I think one of the takeaways for me, not just in the last 2 games, but lately, is what's going on with Big Z. This was Cal yesterday.
Big Z didn't really play much at all in the second half. Was that performance-based, a matchup thing?
He hurt his wrist, and I probably shouldn't have started him. Probably just spotted him. But, if you look at the plus minus, you know what I'm saying? And look, when you're in these situations, you ride who's playing well. Doesn't mean you don't like somebody or you don't think they can play. Maybe it's not their day. But for us to advance in this next tournament, he's got to be on this team playing.
You had a question down
I
front.
shouldn't say that because we don't even know if we're in.
And I think they're in. But the point he's making there, it's like I do wonder what's happened with him a little bit. And like Jonas has kind of canceled Big Z's fall out a little bit. Jonas has risen, Trevin's risen, and so the Big Z thing isn't as big of a deal. guys, you gotta want to get him going next week. And I know it's like he alluded to his injury and everything else, whatever it is, but I think that's it's a little concerning if you're heading into next week if he's not playing what he needs to be.
I would agree with all that, but I also think it's matchups and the physicality and the way. I mean, the way Ole Miss guards is they're going to be up underneath you, and when you put the ball down, it's going to bounce away from you. They're going to slap it loose. And, man, he's 7'2", and he's got that high dribble. And then, they're going to bang you around. In the hand, I think it was kind of like three things told Cal keep him on the bench.
Yeah, and he had that one moment. It's just outside the lane line. If you're watching, is on to the right end of the court watching. And his handling of the ball just looked terrible in that moment.
Loose.
And it looked like a guy that didn't want to get hurt again. Looked like a guy that was maybe didn't have the confidence in his skill that day. And you can understand that with a wrist injury that you don't want to get hit again on that. So I thought his ball handling was not near the level that we've seen from him earlier throughout the season than what we saw yesterday in some loose ball situations and ones where he had to bend down and get it and try to get it above his head, because once he gets it head high or shoulder high, no one else is getting it.
I think that covered it really well.
Yeah. So, well, thank you, Clay. We're brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions.
I mean, I don't dislike you, but occasionally I remember that you're a referee, so you have to take it when I'm mad at the referee.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But
it's not you making the calls. I understand.
He did bend over. I did see yesterday, and just didn't look comfortable handling the ball when it was below his waist. He had to go down and get it and put his wrist and arms in harm's way of
I
those
agree
defenders.
with you.
So,
yeah.
479-769-1505. That's the number for Mock Legal Solutions. They've opened a second location in Salisaw, right across from the courthouse, to better serve Sequoia and LaFleur County citizens and people there that need great quality legal representation. They're there for you. Not only do they handle family law, but they also do car wrecks, slips and falls, dog bite cases. I mean, civil, criminal, you name it. Jackie's got over 13 years of experience in these areas, and they understand that not everyone's got a $5,000 retainer just sitting in their checking account waiting for something to come up like this. So they work with you on low down payments, flat fees, and monthly payments that work for you as well. Go to mocklegalsolutions.com. That's mocklegalsolutions.com, or call 479-769-1505.
All right, when we come back, SEC update. Again, a great Thursday in Nashville, Tennessee. Looking ahead to some of these games, and we'll get into some other news, including Arkansas softball taking on Oklahoma, Arkansas baseball taking on Ole Miss. All that is coming up next here on a Fast Break Friday.
Fast Break Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics in Bentonville. Get back to living your life.
0 to the other end for a throwdown.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Somebody get him a plane ticket for New York City.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
I'm new in town, but not new to Oklahoma law. Hi, I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. I've been licensed to practice law in Oklahoma for 13 years, so it was time to put down some roots. Smack dab across from the Sequoia County Courthouse in Salisaw. We offer low flat fees and payment plans to fit every budget. So if you need a lawyer, drop by, check us out online, or call us at 918-238-2363. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear?
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally climbed the hills, the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
navigate what I've got on my
We'll
phone.
possibly do something. Hopefully, we've done
think I
enough
found
and
it
done
on
enough
my
in this league. And, it's is you're playing the 1 rank, 2 rank. You're doing the things that we've done. I think we've proven it, but I'm not in the room. So, and I don't know what's happening around the country because I haven't watched. I don't have any idea who's doing what right now. I was focusing on this game.
That was John Calipari following Arkansas's loss to Ole Miss yesterday when asked about, hey, what's it going to look like for the selection Sunday? Will you guys be on campus? Will you be at your house or whatever? Guys, their time in Nashville has come to an end, but there are still plenty of good games on today. Ole Miss, Auburn, 12 o'clock ESPN. Texas, Tennessee will be 25 minutes after that game. The second session features Missouri at Florida and Kentucky at Alabama. Guys, Texas, Tommy, has Texas done enough to warrant an NCAA tournament bid?
I think certainly a win today removes all doubt. I think they have, but I've kind of just circling teams on my bracket. I mean, the first 8 are pretty easy, the ones that earn the bye or the double bye. You get beyond that, now, if you think Arkansas's one of those teams and Georgia's one of those teams, to me, guys, Texas was the last one I could circle, and I probably could circle them now. So, I mean, it just depends on if the committee's really going to go 12, 13 deep with this league.
When you do this, it is incumbent on you to go back and look at December. And Texas really did some work there. And, so did Oklahoma for that matter.
Yes, they had
but it's a long time ago. And, I just know that it gets tough when you start getting some bid stealers. And, I mean, I haven't kept up. Have we had 2 or 3 bid stealers? Maybe we had 5 last year is what somebody told me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the next couple of days are really important. And you kind of we think we know what we do if we're sitting in that room, and we're a little biased. And then there's a few people sitting in that room, and it's like, man, I don't like what the SEC's done.
Well, and they have an agenda for their league or their
no
part of the
question.
country or the conference they represent or this isn't 8 people, 12 people. What is it? 12 on the college football playoff committee.
It's a flipping committee.
Yeah,
of people.
But the selection committee for basketball is about twice that size, if I remember. So it's a lot larger than the football playoff committee.
And I'm ready for this little college basketball theme. Start to hear it. Get ready next week. And it's nice. My thought is, like, if you're an Arkansas fan this morning, it's not the, Selection Sunday actually means something to you in 2 days when last year you knew you weren't going. And, I mean, the middle 3 years under Musselman, you knew you were an NCAA tournament team. It was just a matter of where. I think that could – Clay, I don't know. I can't remember if I asked you this. I know Tommy are kind of in lockstep on this. Do you think Arkansas is just, dead set to end up in Lexington? Is that just inevitable based on this being a television show?
I don't know. I mean, I really do think that they have a way of coming up with those kind of little cutesy little deals. Like, for instance, if Arkansas State had won, I think they would have been in the same bracket somewhere with Arkansas. I think they like to do that kind of stuff. It's like, all right, if the seeds have to make sense, though. They're not going to go against their seeds. Mm-hmm. And there's some, there's some things that they have no control over, and then there's some that they, let's just, we can do this, or we can do that, but that's me. The fun thing about this, and we lost it for, I don't know how many years, Stan Heath and John Pelfrey, and then, even some of Mike's time, where we weren't in the tournament, and we knew as of a Friday of the conference tournament, Arkansas is not dancing. I didn't want to fill out brackets. And then, the last few years, with Coach Musselman, and by the way, they lost last night, and he had his second straight losing season. I would not have figured that looking at that roster that he put together. I thought he put together a good roster at Southern Cal, but it's that Big Ten is it's a nightmare with the travel that they have.
I'm sure
but anyway, Well, yeah, and he's a bad loser. I would imagine that there was something that he had to bitch about.
Referees, probably.
They lost at UCLA, and he was like, "Well, they have a great crowd, and our crowd sucks." It's like, coach, it's Southern Cal, it's a football school.
Southern Cal basketball. It's like
Yes,
the
it's a
25th
football
most
school.
popular sport not sport, 25th most popular team in the state. When you think about all the California teams,
I don't think it's that high. I don't think it's that high.
But then you got everything else going on out there. I mean, like you said, the beach. So
hey, it gives him more time to serve.
Yeah, he got time to serve. Yeah. So, but let's enjoy filling out a bracket. I just there's my family does one. There's a couple of other guys. I'm sure.
I missed it last year.
Ty, how many brackets do you fill out? I'm going to say you probably, with your buddies, you got 5 or 6 different brackets.
A lot, man. Yeah,
Isn't it fun?
I got a text 5 minutes ago about one. So it's just this time of year is so enjoyable. But to
Are
your
there
point,
coins involved?
Yes.
They are. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we're going to have our bracket contest back, and we'll have that up Sunday, so you'll be able to get in on the ESPN Arkansas Bracket Challenge beginning this weekend.
Speaking of coins, you had to bring your wallet this weekend to pay for a beer. $17.50 for a premium large beer here in Bridgestone. They finally started selling them here in Nashville this weekend. I shouldn't be shocked by the beer price.
That's $100 for you, right?
Yeah, that's well, no, it was during the game, so obviously I'm not.
I don't care. I mean,
I'm not consuming.
Tommy
alcohol.
might. I don't care.
That I can see that happen.
Well, I thought maybe you'd been into it when you thought that guy walked the ball up.
Yeah, I just misspoke.
With 7 seconds.
I know
to
that's
go.
hard. I know
Steve
that's hard.
walked it up.
I apologize. I apologize for making the one mistake today in an hour and 35 minutes of radio. I actually made a mistake. I know that's hard for some of you to believe. He did not walk the ball up to.
That's not the worst thing you've ever said. That's not the worst thing you've ever said.
That is true. You guys would be. You guys would like where I'm at right now. So my buddy, his brother-in-law is Austin Cook, and he's got this Augusta Shrine in the corner right now. And thinking about like beers, I know they're are they $4 beers in Augusta, Tommy? Is that right?
They're probably not that much. Probably not that much.
He's got
pimento
this,
cheese are like $1.25 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
that's. I just think he's got the shrine of a Masters polo and a towel and everything else. But I was thinking about the $17.50 beer versus the $3 or $4 beer, whatever it is, in Augusta, Georgia. But back to Arkansas for a sec. Joe Lenardi does have them in Lexington against Louisville. I got on his bracketology this morning. Louisville is a 7, Arkansas is a 10. I think that would be from a entertainment value, like you got the most hated coach in Kentucky versus the other most hated team. If you're a fan of Big Blue Nation, that would be quite a first-round matchup for Arkansas. Have you played, Clay? Have you played them since U.S. Reed hit that shot way back when? Like, I can't. You might have to. You've got better memory on this than mine. Have you played Louisville in an NCAA tournament game since that shot?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I'd have to really look. Hey, I'm 70. Yeah, I mean, I thought I was supposed to be on with you guys at 9. That's how good my memory is.
All right, that's your SEC update. It's brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. We won't write you a tardy slip today, Clay, for that. APAC and Standard Materials Group, they've got turnkey solutions for construction projects. APAC and Standard Materials Group is Northwest Arkansas's #1 provider for aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. And if you need more than just materials, APAC can help you with surveying, engineering, construction, drone capabilities, trucking, and logistics as well. 479-587-3300, 587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group.
Guys, I don't think we've talked about this just yet. Have you seen the new red light bill in the state of Arkansas? Bill 372 that would permit drivers stopped at a red light to cautiously enter the intersection if there is no vehicular traffic approaching the intersection. So basically, if you pull up to a red light, you don't see anyone.
It's a stop sign.
Yeah, it becomes a stop sign.
Becomes a 4-way stop. Yeah.
Any thought?
Well, as a guy that used to
no,
go
it's not a 4-way stop.
Well, kind of becomes one. So.
Yeah, the other guys are coming. They're green.
Well, if there's no cars coming, it wouldn't be legal if there was cars coming.
I get your point. I get your point.
And I'm usually the more
want a
the
foul
less
called on
barrier. Yeah, the less. What did you say? I didn't hear that.
He didn't want a foul called on him.
Oh, jeez.
A technical foul.
I usually am like the less barriers, the better. But this doesn't seem like a good idea.
Well,
because
as two guys that used to go to work at 5:30 or 4:30 in the morning a lot, and you'd hit a red light and there wasn't a car in sight, this would be a very helpful
20
law.
seconds.
You just go. You just
well, then
go.
then you're definitely breaking the law.
But that's like it's a statute of limitations thing. It's like 20 seconds at a red light, you're good. It's not illegal anymore. Like you can go. I'm talking about if you just pull up. Like there's crimes you commit.
Whoa. You're telling me you can legally now sit at a red light for 20 seconds and just go, and it's legal?
I'm being facetious and sarcastic.
Well, I'm saying
hasn't been passed yet.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
don't do it, anybody. Don't do it.
I don't make a habit of regularly running red lights, but in those cases, in those scenarios, and I'm looking around, sitting down, I blink my lights, I back up and forward just to try to get the sensors or whatever, and it still doesn't work, I'm gone. Like that, I did my time. I did my turn. And
you look up there and see the camera staring at you?
Yes, and I've never gotten a ticket that way. I'm not advocating to say you should do it. I'm doing something that shouldn't be done, but I'm saying that's what I do. So I don't think that's a good idea. I think it will lead to more wrecks, and I don't think that's a good idea for us here in the state to have that, to be honest.
Wasted time at a red light. Let's move on.
You know what? I never stop at a stoplight in Norfolk.
No. Barely stop signs there. So
yeah. Not any on Highway 5.
Yeah. Hey, if you're craving something sweet this weekend, see our friends at Andy's Frozen Custards. They are on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, 2 locations in Conway, and JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock as well. You can mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors with their Pick 6 and treat you and your family to a lot of their menu right there with just the Pick 6. So swing by and see them in Fort Smith, 2 locations in Conway and JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock, and download the Andy's app from your app store and order ahead at Andy's Frozen Custards, Conway, North Little Rock, and Fort Smith.
Big impact at the ACC tournament yesterday.
It's Fastbreak Friday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Bland off a screen, top of the circle, buries the three-pointer.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, this is former Razorback Jalen Williams, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Take your dining to a whole new level at Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant. You'll find the
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to a $200,000 bracket contest, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. Bet Online. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Le dije, vamos a hacer maldades. Vuelvo yo te traje. Pago allá el mahones si no baila pa' que sale. Aquí están mis anormales. Tú mueves ese nalga. Esto es pa' las nenas nuevas, pa' los nenes, pa' la
It's back, the Ultimate Challenge at Lewis Automotive, and it's bigger than ever.
We're on a mission to sell 555 vehicles in the month of March, no matter what it takes. We've got more than 1,000 vehicles to choose from, more than $2 million in discounts, and we're not holding anything back. All month long, get up to $20,000 off MSRP or 0% financing on select models.
Payments start at $199 a month.
Find the ultimate selection, the ultimate discounts, the ultimate financing, and the ultimate amount for your trade.
Only at the Lewis Automotive Group's Ultimate Challenge.
Thanks for watching.
2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
When I was in high school, it started out as, they started calling me Big O, but once I got to Arkansas, it just took over. Of course, my size and my name began with Oliver, and my name started with O, and it just took off, and just accepted it. I feel like Oliver was a little nerdy name anyway, so I prefer being called O or Big O anyway, so I just accepted it and loved it. I just always felt like, because kids used to make fun of Oliver North or Oliver Twist, and I'm like, ugh. So I just started accepting being called Big O or O.
Clay, Razorback Nation got some terrible news on Wednesday. Oliver Miller, dead at 54 years old, and that was a clip from our conversation back in July of last year. And we'll get some thoughts on you because I know you've got a few things to say about the Big O. And we'll do that in just a sec.
Hey, this weekend, get to lurenet.com and get your tackle boxes out and make sure that you're ready for all the spring fishing. All your favorite brands like Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more are all there, made in Arkansas by Pradco. You can load up that tackle box with all the treasures you need, and any order over $35 gets free shipping in the U.S. as well. So treat you and your buddies and your families to some new tackle box treasures. Go to lurenet.com. That's lurenet.com.
Clay, you kind of described him during the break as one of the kindest kids you've ever talked to in a Razorback uniform.
He was off the court just a sweetheart of a human being, and kind to everybody. He played with passion. Now he got after it. I spent some time yesterday on the phone with Scotty Edgar, who's the guy, the first big time recruiter to say this is somebody that's a national player that we have to have. And Scotty was. Just go back and look. They won 4 outright championships when he was on the team. 3 in the Southwest Conference, 1 in the SEC. That's unheard of.
And 3 conference tournaments in addition to that, Clay. 7 of the 8.
And just I talked to Mike Irwin. Mike and I, we're the two kind of old timers, and I just let me compare notes and see what. And we were talking about the most loved Razorback, most beloved, and that's kind of a tough thing to do because you're talking about 60 years or whatever, and Sidney Moncrief's in there. There's no doubt. Sidney, when you ask somebody who's the greatest or who did you love watching the most, they're gonna people are gonna say that. But Mike and I think right there with Sidney is Big O. And it was his personality, his chemistry, the way he embraced fans. I can just think of so many moments when something would happen and he'd turn to the students and just raise those 2 big arms and then do his fingers like a little louder, bring it on. Corey Beck could do that too, but Robkin was the band maestro. But I think that if you asked a lot of fans, Big O was a conductor too, and he was the main ingredient in those teams. Todd Day and Lee Mayberry got a lot of headlines, but it's like Scotty said, they got so many steals out front because those guys could take risks. Well, they had Big O protecting the rim.
Yeah,
it's like he blocked 112 shots in one season. He's the ultimate stat filler. What do you call it? Stat stuffer? Mm-hmm. And you just look across his line, and it'd be points, it would be steals, it'd be blocks, it would be assists. Not many turnovers. He and what I always love to see, and I think what fans remember about him the most, is taking a defensive rebound and throwing a length of the court pass to one of those guards streaking for a dunk, or taking it right out of the basket on a made and making one step back, and at the same moment his toe touches the ground, that ball is coming down the floor. And Scotty Edgar mentioned one thing, and I'd never thought of this, but that was back in the day where you just had 2 refs. Well, Tommy, you know what it's like to be on the court with 2 refs, and you can't see everything. You can't see every inline. And Scotty said about half the time Big O's foot wasn't out of bounds.
He's jucking it.
Yeah.
Well, he's a legend for not just what he did on the court, but obviously the impact he had off the court as well. And it's been cool to get texts throughout the week and people like Clay that have shared real life stories of Oliver Miller, who again passed away at 54 years old this week.
Yeah, and I think fan favorite. I didn't consider that, but the smile, the way he interacted when I was a teenage kid that looked up and admired him and interacted with fans, made him one of the most beloved Razorbacks of all time.
He signed a lot of autographs.
Yeah, and always had a smile, never seemed to be put out, as I remember, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, asking. It was almost like you were doing him a favor when you asked him for that autograph. Fast Break Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in orthobiologic cellular therapies. That's a mouthful, but here's the bottom line. They'll make you feel better. Your aching joints that have arthritic pain, that have just old injuries that have never healed, and your doctor's told you more surgery, drugs, or downtime are the solutions they can offer you. There's a better way with QC Kinetics. They'll help heal your joints with your body's own healing powers that they'll concentrate where you hurt the most. 479-999-1234 is their number. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on a Fast Break Friday. Clay, good stuff on the basketball team, and again, some awesome story about Oliver Miller this morning. We appreciate it, buddy.
You guys hang tough. Ty, you be careful coming home. We need you back in the studio doing all the things you do.
Thanks, buddy. All right, baseball team in action against Ole Miss. Earlier time today, 2 o'clock. We'll have it for you on most of these stations starting at 1:30. And softball, with maybe the biggest home game or home series in Bogle Park history as Oklahoma's in town. For Clay Henry, for Colton Little, and Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson. Selection Sunday, 5 o'clock. We'll see where Arkansas winds up in the NCAA tournament. Halftime is next.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.